E E E E E.
Mm, mm. Ah, I think I came. All I'm saying is something about Coke in a bottle absolutely slaps. I don't even like soda, but for some reason in a bottle it hits different, bro. It just hits different. Anyways, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Detail back from another video here today, and as you can see, I'm gonna go on a little rant here today. This is an important subject topic to me, kinda. Eh. But obviously, by the title, I'm here to tell you why I'm not buying Madden 21. Some people this isn't important at all, so you can click off the video if you want. But EA, really scuffed my Tims this time. Funny enough, this is actually the 16th anniversary of the last NFL 2K, NFL 2K5, 16th anniversary of the game. Pretty convenient. I don't know, man. But yeah, this is a pretty important topic to me just because I am a huge Madden fan. Not only a Madden fan, but a football fan. I mean, if you couldn't tell, don't judge me because I like the Cowboys. I'm from Texas, okay? But yeah, why am I, someone who's been playing Madden religiously since Madden 15, why am I not buying Madden 21? Boy, there's a lot of reasons, right? My expectations for Madden and EA as a company, the most garbage company in video games, by the way, you cannot debate me otherwise. My expectations for Madden and for EA as a company are down here. This is me setting the bar. It's pretty low, and somehow they managed to go down here. Over the last week or so, I have done extensive research on not only Madden 21, but the history of Madden and the games that used to compete with Madden, such as NFL 2K. Why is the 16th anniversary of NFL 2K so important? Not only was it the last NFL game produced by a company other than EA, and to many people, it is endowed as the best football game of all time. That and people like to talk about NCAA 14, neither of which I played a little bit before my time, especially NFL 2K. I was literally two when that game came out, so. But yeah, I'm a huge Madden fan and a football fan in general. I really got into football around when I was 13, so like 5 years ago. Obviously, the math adds up, whatever. Madden was a huge part of that, into introducing me into not only how the game of football really works, but also me wanting to get a deeper knowledge and understanding of the game itself. But man, EA has just done such a terrible job of taking care of their core fan base, and I am a part of that core fan base. Hashtag Fix Madden franchise was the number one trend in the world. I think it was the world, either that or in the US. I mean, literally, the Madden 21 trailer has over 40,000 dislikes. If that's not telling you something, EA, I don't know what will. So yeah, I am a part of the hashtag Fix Madden franchise movement here. I think the only way that we could see real progress, because EA has come out plenty of times, and every year they talk about all these new changes and all these cool new things that they're adding to the game, which either are recycled or they're just using fancy words to try to go over people's heads, or they're reintroducing old things that used to be in the game over 10 years ago. And it's a shame. I mean, EA's come out and said in previous years somehow how they don't have the resources or it's just too much stress on the game itself to add certain things in the game. Like the Pro Bowl, for instance. I think after Madden 17, Madden 18, people were asking for the Pro Bowl. They're like, why can't we have it in the game? It literally used to be in the game well over 10 years ago, so why can't you do it now? And they say it's a lack of resources. EA, a billion-dollar company, doesn't have the resources to add features that used to be into games over 10 plus years ago. Uh, Sounds like a little BS to me. Don't get me wrong, I know adding things like the Pro Bowl and stuff like that, it's gonna take time, and it's not easy to just do. You can't just make it happen overnight. Either way, Madden 20, what does EA do? And they add in the Pro Bowls, something that was in the game up until Madden 13, where they just suddenly wiped away all the great features that were in franchise mode so they can display their new baby Ultimate Team. There's literally a meme going around. Even NFL players are disgusted with Madden. Not only the ratings, but the things that that they focus on. You think NFL players want to go and drop thousands of dollars on a game mode that they're not going to really spend that much time in? No, they want to play franchise where they can save their progress. It won't lose value over time, and they can just hop in and kind of play whenever they want. But of course, EA, the almighty scamming lords that they are, would rather put all their focus into MUT. Did you know EA literally made over $1.2 billion just off of MUT alone? That doesn't even count sales of the game itself. Just off of MUT packs. $1.2 billion? Are you serious? Yeah, it makes sense for them to put all their time if they're going to get that much of a return, especially the higher ups. At the end of the day, they don't care what their fans think. They just see all the money coming. They see the numbers. They don't play the game. They don't actually care about the game of football. They just see the numbers and they're like, "Wow, EA, you're doing a great job." But at the expense, they're putting their hardcore fans in the gutter. Franchise mode has not seen real change in years. Don't get me wrong, if you go play Madden 13 and you look at Madden 20, the game's going to look a lot different. Obviously, the gameplay is better. They've made a lot of improvements on gameplay. I'm never going to knock them for that. And obviously, the reskin looks better. But that's all it really is a reskin. At the end of the day, there's no real features that they added. And somehow we managed to get away with it every year. Literally, the difference between Madden 12 and then Madden 13 is they stripped away everything that was in MUT. Everything good about the game, everything that kept people invested. They stripped it away one year, and then somehow we just let them get away with it. They haven't made a change since. I've been watching a lot of Soft Drinks TV. He discusses a lot of sports games and like the history and why they gone wrong now. And the launch of Madden '06, which was the first official year after the NFL signed their exclusive simulation football games with EA exclusively. With the premiere of the Xbox 360, eh, Madden had a job to display something. So they released this really high quality trailer for at the time, uh, 2005, and the game looked unbelievable. Like even today, I don't think the trailer looks half bad. If the quality was up, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference between what they released now and what was back then. It was unbelievable. Blew people out of the water. Except the only problem was that's it's not what the game looked like at all. EA was really ambitious. They wanted to make this big change, and they spent all these resources and time making everything else outside of the gameplay itself look good. So when they try to add players in, they just couldn't do it. Therefore, they had to pretty much recode the entire game and start from scratch well after all these months and all these hours invested in the game. So when they displayed this trailer, everyone was so excited. Then when they got the game, it was nothing like it. What do you think that does for the fans, and what does that say about a company? So many believe from that point, EA was literally scarred from that ever happening again. Obviously, they had to move from old PS2 and original Xbox to 360 and PS3. So that's a big jump, and at the time, it doesn't like it's hard to do, obviously, and many are convinced that absolutely scarred EA into trying to do anything ambitious ever again, with the hopes of something going wrong like that. So when EA tried to move from last gen to current gen, which is obviously Xbox One and PlayStation 4, they pretty much stripped away all the features that were in Madden 12 into Madden 13. So they stripped everything away in the hopes that that doesn't happen again. Because if they take things away, nothing can go wrong. If you try to be too ambitious, obviously things can go wrong. But the only problem is EA has not made a real effort to go back into the old ways, the things that made Madden franchise and Madden as a series great. There's a long list of things that just used to be in the game but are no longer in the game. Like we're in 2020. Like you're telling me we're not capable of doing that? We very much are, except they just would rather put all their focus into MUT because that's what makes them the most money. And my thing is, I played MUT for 2 years. I didn't give a single dime to EA off of packs. I just grinded the game religiously, but it took so many hours. I spent every day after school grinding solo challenges and then trying to work the market just in hopes of getting a team that can compete with people that spend thousands of dollars every single year. Like it's not fair. It doesn't make sense. If you want to play MUT and you don't want to spend money, you have to invest your life into that game, and it shouldn't be like that. Everyone knows that plays MUT. It's pay to win. If someone drops significantly more money than you on the game versus you not spending any money to very little money, you're going to be outmatched. It doesn't matter how good at the game you really are. It's you're fighting an uphill battle every single time. And some people be like, "Oh, anyone that hates Madden just sucks at the game. Get better." No, people that play Madden religiously like myself understand the game sucks, but we still buy it every year. Uh, Our own fault, yes, but there's no other simulation football game on the market. At least not one linked with the NFL, so we can't play with all of our favorite players, and one not with a high budget, so the game just it's within itself is not that quality of a product. I've seen Access Football and then Maximum Football. They're making changes, they're making strides, and they're listening to their community. But it's just obviously not. They don't have the capabilities to make a game that looks as great or functions like Madden does. The thing is, I say that, but Madden doesn't even function that great. Like, to be honest, writing Madden off as a simulation football game should be false advertising, if I'm being real. I'm just saying, I am a Cowboys fan, obviously, but in what world should DeMarcus Lawrence get 8 sacks a game every time you play against him? But guess what? You can have Von Miller on your team, and he'll get you maybe 1 sack a game if you're lucky. Something about the AI when it comes to pass rushers is OP. And guess what? EA wanted to bring up the fact that they made improvements to the pass rush for Madden 21, something that was completely unnecessary. But instead of focusing on the real issue at hand, let's make a big problem worse. 2K5 was way before my time, so I didn't get to enjoy that luxurious of a game. But after doing, like I said, extensive research and watching multiple videos on the history, 2K5 within itself, the gameplay looked smoother and more authentic, like a real NFL experience. When you watch games on TV, 2K5 managed to portray that so well back then. Don't get me wrong, Madden doesn't do a bad job at it, but it's a very arcade-like, and for it to be called a simulation football game, it does not move like simulation football. You got middle linebackers that move with 75 speed, but have a 6 foot vertical. It doesn't make any sense. And not to mention the predetermined animations. Anyone that plays or has played enough Madden understands that predetermined animations are such a big part of the game. You could throw a 50-50 ball to Julio Jones, but a 70 overall corner that has the speed to keep up with Julio will catch an interception. Like, probably 60% of the time, just because of the predetermined animations. Why does that make sense? It doesn't. But guess what? It's part of the game, right? The thing is, while that's a big problem, that's not even the biggest problem. It's that I haven't even talked about the things that franchise within itself has lacked for years at this point. The relocation, select few cities that you can move to, which have been the same since Madden 13. You get the same options for a logo, same options for a jersey, and it's just been like that. We haven't seen any change. They haven't added, they haven't innovated, nothing. It's just been like that forever. But guess what? Back in the day, Madden 08, Madden 12, you had various other options. Not to mention, you could design your own stadium and you could design custom jerseys, a logo. It didn't matter. You could do whatever you wanted. There was a in-depth coaching carousel. You had coordinators in the game, something that EA still has not added in the game today. Why in a realistic football game are contracts not accurate? Why can't you restructure contracts? You can't sign free agents for over a 1 year deal. So whatever money it's locked at, it's locked at. There aren't 50-year options in the game. Like none of it makes sense. This is not an authentic, real experience. But guess what? People year after year, all these companies love to give Madden a high rating for no reason when they don't deserve it. Hardcore Madden fans will buy the game every year knowing it'll be bad, hoping that it'll be changed. There will be some changes. I will give EA some credit. They have managed to do a lot of good things in the game over the years, but they've also lacked a lot of things over the years. Everyone buys the game, they play it for a month, they say, wow, this is really good. Then after that month is over, we go back to the same excuses and the same problems every single year. But like I said, there's nothing else on the market to compete. So what do? Forced to buy it. And the difference between Madden 21, Madden 20 to Madden 21 is worse than we've seen in the past. It's literally just a roster update, especially in franchise mode. We're paying for the color blue if that interests you. And then not to mention you can play with new players. Like, wow, EA, thanks for the authentic experience. And that's only a portion of the things EA is lacking in franchise mode. There are so many more. I'll just put the list on screen for you. Yeah, pretty garbage if you ask me. Just saying. And then the problem with MUT, the thing is I don't get with MUT players, why do people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this game to build a good team, by the way? It'll get you wins if you want to play the game. It'll get you the wins that you're asking for. But you're gonna spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this game, and then which from a year from now it'll be irrelevant because you have to go buy the new one and then build a whole new team. And I'm just saying, MUT hasn't been good since Madden 16, by the way. They degraded the cars, and guess what? They'll probably make them better a couple years from now, like they used to be when people loved the game so much, and then reskin it as something, oh, brand new, never seen before in MUT. My biggest gripe with MUT is we want to talk about lack of innovation in franchise. There really isn't any innovation in MUT, which is supposed to be the most creative game mode. Um, every year, anyone that plays the game understands you're gonna get your Madden, Madden present, future, and past during Christmas time. You're gonna get your most feared promo in Halloween. You're gonna get your Easter promo, get the Black Friday promo. You get all these things. You get the Super Bowl promo. Granted, it's cool. It makes sense for adding things in for what's relevant around that time of year. But it's still the same thing. It's like they barely change it every single year. So why do you play it just to understand what you're getting, and then you get several cards that basically have the same stats, but they claim it to be a higher overall. Like these things don't make sense. Like I was saying earlier, real NFL players are criticizing the game because they understand what they're doing is total garbage. The ratings don't make sense. The game has not changed. And they're going to continue to do that until the hardcore Madden fan base makes a difference. Hoping by me not buying the game this year, they will see at least a slight dip in numbers, or that it'll stay the same, so that they understand that there are fans not happy with what they're doing right now. I feel like in past years, I have been guilty of the fact, like, oh no, I won't buy it this year. It's going to be the same thing. I still end up buying it. Many like myself still exist, but I'm just tired of it, man. It's so, you know how depressing it is to go back and look at games from 10 plus years ago and understand that what the product they were putting out is better than what we're getting today. It's horrible. It really is. EA literally loves scamming little kids. That's what MUD does. A bunch of kids get their parents' credit cards and they just oh, here's the money. I can underage gamble with these packages. It's basically what it is, except it's not promoted as underage gambling, obviously, which is illegal, by the way. But that's essentially what EA is doing. They don't give you a probability of what you're going to get on these cards. They just say, oh, here's 20 bucks, we can buy you a bundle, and here's one guaranteed 90 plus elite. And when it goes up to a 98 overall, guess what? You'll probably get a 90, so which is literally worth no coins. So you have to spend even more money to get any sort of value off of it. Listen, these YouTubers are probably the biggest influence of people playing MUT and spending tons of money. I get it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their job. It's a return on investment. You gotta spend money to make money. They're spending money for the content, but they're getting that money in return anyways. These normal everyday people, they're working for their money, and they're not getting anything back by spending thousands of dollars. Yeah, they get in-game stuff, but at the end of the day, those cards are going to be outdated in 2 months, and if you don't upgrade with the rest of the community, you're going to fall behind. So what do you have to do? You have to drop more money on the game. It's a cycle, and they have you locked in and hooked. I felt guilty of it too. Like I said, luckily I didn't spend any money when I was playing MUT, but the amount of hours I had to invest in the game was not worth it. I'll just show you pictures of my difference in playtime from Madden 15 all the way up to Madden 20. Look at the 2 years where I played MUT. Significantly higher than every other year, and it's not even close. But don't worry, EA has time to add Snoop Dogg and DJ Khaled in the game instead of fixing franchise mode. It's something everyone asks for, right? They have all this time and energy to put into Longshot, a game mode that absolutely no one liked, by the way, but they still can't fix franchise mode. Guess what? Madden 21, we get the Yard. but you still can't fix franchise, man. This video of Sid the Sloth is literally perfectly describing what Madden fans feel every single year.
They do this every year. Why? Doesn't anyone love me?
And it's so disappointing, it really is. Like I said, I play Madden every year. I buy the game every year, and I have since Madden 15. It's part of the reason I got so invested in the NFL like I did. And EA knows that, so that's why they continue to push MUT so hard. You load up the game, and then EA tells you, hey, you have so-and-so time to claim your MUT card for free. And then these hardcore franchise fans are just left just sitting here just stuck like, yep, EA, give it to me, please. Which is literally where majority of their audience plays the game. Yeah, there's a lot of people in MUT, and yeah, obviously they're going to make more money off of MUT than they do franchise. But can you not care about your core fans at all? Or we have to wait another 10 years for you to reintroduce all these things in the game and say, brand new, never seen before in Madden, when it was literally in the game 20 years ago? Like, it's so frustrating, it really is. EA acknowledge that, and obviously it's not all their fault. The higher ups have to approve, because I know a lot of people that work on franchise really want to see the best for the game, would want to add these things that fans are asking for. But that's why it's so important to not buy the game this year. So everyone at the top understands fans are not happy, and if you want to make them happy, you got to add in the things that they want. I truly believe that's the only way we're going to see real change. So I'm hoping. I know it's not going to happen this year because I mean the game is literally a month away from launch, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that much, especially while working from home, to add in some of the things that we're asking for. I'm just hoping in Madden 22 we see some progress. I'm not saying you have to make this massive jump to make franchise like it was, but I just want to see real progress. Like there's so many things that are lacking in the year 2020 that we should be well past, but we aren't. I don't know. There's probably some points that I missed on in this video. I just wanted to express my extreme frustration with EA, the worst company in video games. Do not debate me at all. So I'm just hoping for Madden 22 we can see real change. I want to see progress. You don't have to make the game S tier in the span of a year. I just want to see the game go from a D to a C plus B minus at least. Like I want to see something. Uh, will we ever get that? Boy, I hope so. I don't know. This video isn't really important. I just wanted to express my true anger and disinterest with EA Sports as they exist today. Anyways, thanks for listening to me rant. If you still made it to this point, leave a comment saying potato. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you can follow my Twitter and my Instagram down in the description below. I hope you have a great rest of your day. But other than that, I'm Detail, and I'm signing out. Peace.